story to read to you. I think what one we're going to do tonight is going to be a story that I liked when I was little, because my grandma read it to me, and my pappy read it to me, and my mommy and my daddy read it to me sometimes too. And it's an older story, but you've heard it before. This story is bum 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 bum. A Walt Disney story with Mickey meets the giant. Woo! See how huge he is? I can hold Mickey in my hands. But he looks kind of confused because Mickey's trying to punch him. So he's like, what are you doing? I'm a giant. That won't hurt me. But this is a good story about outsmarting bullies. So Mickey uses his brains instead of his muscles, which sometimes you need to do whenever somebody's like so much bigger than you, like a giant. So let's read the story of Mickey meets the giant. Once upon a time, there lived a brave woodcutter named Mickey. His work took him from place to place. One day he came to a pretty town. It was called Cedar Grove. See that?
Oh, these hills are just full of sweet-smelling trees, he thought. I can sell that wood, and I'll make a lot of money. But first, I must make sure that my axe is sharp.
Uh-oh. So the woodcutter walked through the streets of the town, and there were many people in the streets. Everyone looked very upset.
Oh, whatever will happen to us?
One woman cried.
Oh, we must find someone who can beat the giant, yelled a man. Oh, why is everyone so afraid of this giant? What has he done?
Asked Mickey. See Mickey's concerned face. Like,
oh, what's happening?
get a lot of text messages. The people told him about a night when the giant decided to have a little fun. While they lay sleeping, the giant began to whistle, and when he whistled, the wind blew. He whistled through their windows. The wind blew through their homes. It blew all the sleeping people right out of their beds. Oh, man. Mickey didn't like that story very much, and he didn't like the next one at all. One day the giant wanted to play. He jumped rope in the fields. That's not a good place to play. They had just been planted. He made footprints all over the fields. That night it rained, and the next day the fields were covered with foot-shaped lakes. See that? The giant's feet are so big it made lakes. Nothing gonna grow in those fields. When the giant saw his footprints filled with water, he began to laugh. He laughed so hard that he fell down, and he rolled on the ground. He laughed some more. Everything for miles around shook as he laughed. This was too much for the animals in the forest. They were so afraid that they ran for their lives.
Well, now there are no animals in Cedar Grove,
said the giant.
and soon there will be no people either. Oh, 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 oh.
So the animals running away from him.
Oh, oh, oh. Oh, what a terrible giant,
thought Mickey. Just then a wagon came racing into town. It stopped. The driver jumped down to the ground. Jumped to the ground. He told Mickey his story.
I was taking my family away from Cedar Grove.
but a huge boulder rolled right onto the road. It was so big, there was no way around it. I looked up to see where it had come from, and there stood the giant.
Yeah. Whoa, it's pretty scary. Look how scared his horse is.
The giant laughed very hard when he saw that I was afraid. His laugh was as loud as thunder. My horse was so scared that he turned right around. He ran as fast as he could back here to Cedar Grove.
Oh, 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 oh. The giant had blocked the only way out of town. Now the people of Cedar Grove were trapped. Why does he want people trapped? You just want to pick on them and be mean? That's not nice. The brave woodcutter had had enough.
Well, let me face the giant,
He said.
I have beaten bullies before, and I'll do it again.
Everyone laughed at the woodcutter. You could not beat this giant, said a kind policeman. But I do think that you must be a very brave man. See, that was a pretty good Irish accent. That's what I was going for. Stan Doolittle is the man to do this, said the policeman. I remember the time that Stan ran a mean old bear out of town, or out of Cedar Grove. Stan stepped to the front.
Oh, I will show that giant who is boss, 'cause I'm Stan Doolittle and I'm awesome.
But but it was not long before Stan came running home. He was dripping wet and was very upset. The giant had picked up poor Stan by his hair. Ow! And he had dropped Stan right into a cup of tea. That's terrible. Where the heck did the giant get a cup that big? So the people called a town meeting, and this time they picked the tallest man in Cedar Grove to challenge the giant. But Tall Tom was not a brave man. He did not want to meet the giant. But at last, off he went. Here's Tall Tom. But before the townspeople could count to three, Tall Tom came running back. Let me see, what's Tall Tom sound like? Well, I just saw the giant break the tallest tree in town, in forest, in two pieces, he cried. Well, I did not want that to happen to me. So the people in town did not know what to do next. Look at Mickey. He is upset. He's had enough. He said.
That does it. I am going to beat that giant,
Said Mickey.
I may be small, but I am not afraid. Before I go, I'll need three things. I'll need a bag, I'll need a drinking straw, and I'll need the whitest, roundest cheese in the town. I have a plan.
So, see, the people are getting him the stuff he asked for, and that guy's like pointing at him. Like, over there, go get him. The people wondered what the woodcutter wanted with such things, but they gave him what he asked for. Then they told him how to find the giant. When the woodcutter got to the giant's cave, giants always live in caves, he looked everywhere, but he could not find the giant. So he walked into the deep, dark cave. And there he found bats and rats, but there was no sign of the giant. The woodcutter decided to wait for the giant. He hopped onto a rock outside the cave, but just then the rock began to shake.
Oh, whoa, what's going on here?
Cried Mickey.
Oh,
He was sitting on the giant's foot.
ho, ho, ho.
Came a rumbling noise from above. The woodcutter looked up and up and up,
I see.
said Mickey.
Well, you must be the giant. Well, I am very glad to meet you.
Said Mickey in a small voice.
You mean you're not afraid of me?
Asked the giant.
Well, afraid of you? Why, I am here to challenge you.
Said Mickey. See how Mickey looks tough,
Ha, ha, ha.
thundered the giant.
Bigger men than you have tried to beat me. They have failed. I'll just show you how strong I am.
Kind of weird.
Watch this.
Roared the giant, and then he wrapped his huge hand around the widest tree in the forest, and he pulled it up as if it were a carrot from a garden.
And this.
He said, and then he pounded his huge hand on the ground, and the ground came apart. It became a deep, long canyon. Jeez.
Oh, well, now it's my turn.
Said Mickey to the giant.
Watch how far I can blow this leaf.
A leaf, yelled the giant. I could blow down 50 trees with one breath.
And the giant took a deep breath. And there lay 50 trees on the forest floor. Mickey now knew his plan would work.
Oh, not bad.
He told the giant.
Now it is my turn. Watch how far I throw this stone.
That is just a pebble.
Said the giant.
Step aside.
The giant bent down to pick up a boulder.
Oh, well, that is such a tiny rock.
Cried Mickey.
Why not throw that one over there?
Mickey pointed at the very boulder that was blocking the road to Cedar Grove. The giant gathered all his strength, and then he threw that boulder far away, and now the road was not blocked.
Oh, my plan is working better than I had hoped.
Mickey thought. He reached into his bag. He pulled out the straw.
Watch this.
He said to the giant.
I am going to drink all the water in this pond.
That little pond there,
Straws and ponds are for weaklings,
said the giant.
I can drink a lake.
Oh, well, can you drink all those foot-shaped lakes in the planting fields?
Asked Mickey.
Watch me.
Said the giant. And with that, he drank all the water in each and every lake. Now the giant was tired, and he was so full of water that he was about to burst.
Well, here's an easy one for you.
Said Mickey.
How much water can you squeeze from a stone?
The giant picked up a stone. He squeezed it as hard as he could, but no water came from the stone.
What kind of a giant are you?
Asked Mickey. He held up the round white cheese.
You see this? Watch this.
And then he squeezed and squeezed. Water ran from the cheese. The giant's eyes grew big with fear.
Oh, and if you don't leave Cedar Grove at once,
Said Mickey.
why, I'll...
See, look how scared he looks. The giant turned and ran. Mickey
Mickey smiled to himself. His plan had worked. He had stood up to the giant and had made the giant put right all of the wrong things he had done. Quickly, he went back to town. He told the people what he had done. See the giant running away? And look, everyone was happy. They cheered Mickey for his courage. He became the hero of the town. From that time on, the people of Cedar Grove lived in peace, and the giant was never heard from again.
So, if you're not going to be strong, you got to use your brain. So that's what that story is about. Mickey, even though he's real tiny compared to the big giant, he just outsmarted him. So, anyways, I love you guys, and I hope you're good for your mommy, and I hope you get a good night's sleep because it makes your brain and your body strong. So that's important. So, I love you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow night. See you later, alligator.